That's the over Skype drink. Welcome to We Need Wrestling, everybody.
That sounded extra sharp.
Did it?
Like it pierced through me for some reason.
I like it. Good. I hope it pierced through our audience.
Oh, hi everyone.
Welcome to We Need Wrestling.
I sound like a sad sack of shit.
You do. I'm DJ. That stuffy bitch you hear on the other side is Brett.
Hey, be nice.
I know. We are once again Skyping it because of illness and Pennsylvania weather.
Oh God, Pennsylvania weather is too unpredictable anymore.
It is.
I feel like the older I get, the worse it's getting.
Well, yeah, that's because of global climate change.
Not wrong.
Eventually,
100%
eventually,
not wrong.
we will all be old enough to watch the Earth literally pull itself apart.
Can't wait.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, you know, a swing from because I got about 3 inches of snow up here today, so a swing from 3 inches of snow in the morning to rain in the afternoon to it's going to be about 50 degrees at 6 a.m. Tomorrow to by noon it's going to be 3 degrees.
Like, what a stupid change. Like,
yeah, that's completely normal.
That's gonna feel like just, oh God, it's gonna put a shock right through everyone's body.
Yeah. I've seen some people say, like, expect, like, negative 20 wind chills because it's also, like, 50-mile-per-hour winds, so.
Oh, my God. What are we doing? Why are we doing this?
I don't know, but it's everybody. Even talking to my mom in Louisiana, they're having a freeze. It's going to drop down into 20. Like 20. Yeah. They're not prepared for that. They don't have heaters in their houses. They don't have insulated pipes. They're tropical.
Yeah. What is it? Winter Storm Elliott?
Yes.
Ah, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Never trust a guy named Elliott.
No.
So
I can't even laugh hard, otherwise I'll cough and I'll sound like a jabron.
Right, and you'll ruin the podcast and nobody will ever listen again. It'll be all your fault.
Oh, sorry everyone.
We'll be pushed off the soon-to-be-named network and shamed.
Like, are we going to be walked like what's-her-face, Cersei, through
yes.
King's Landing getting shamed?
Yes, exactly like that.
Hey, remember? Yeah, does that mean we'll be naked too?
Yes, exactly.
Cool, I'm down. I want Todd to be the bell ringer. dressed up in the dress too. That'd be fun time. God damn, I can't laugh. I can't. I'm gonna die if I do.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Keep this show as monotone as possible.
Okay. All right. Well, no. I promise you, from here on out, we will not be funny.
Good. I'm glad.
If you're looking for entertainment, you came to the wrong place today, this week.
In the words of Trent Reznor, you're here to have a good time? Wrong fucking band. We're here to have a bad time.
Exactly.
And then in parentheses, synthesizer playing. I have a cough drop in and everything. Yeah. This is gonna be a long one. I'm sorry.
Right, Joe Spost is gonna have an aneurysm listening to you cough all episode.
I'm sorry, Joe. I apologize in advance, pal.
So, how are you, pal? Let's get this out of the way.
Well, started the weekend good because I got to go to a hardcore show and got to mosh around like an idiot a bunch.
That's right.
And I was definitely feeling that on Sunday. That's for sure. And then Monday I was like, oh, this sucks. I'm sick. Thankfully, no COVID. I've tested 3 times, I think. Good. So
yeah, well, and it's been 5 days now, so you're probably good, right?
Would have popped by then. So
today be the 5th day.
Yeah, and I tested today, so no COVID, thankfully.
That's good.
Just your normal run of the mill flu.
Yeah.
Friends we were there with, they also got sick, same thing. Yep. So, thankfully it's just a flu, no COVID. Right. But yeah, man, my hand is finally stopped being as bruised as it was.
That's good.
which is good. My knuckles are still a little bruised, if that tells you anything.
Sure.
But yeah, how are you?
Well, pal.
Since I already know the answer to this
I
question.
do. I'll keep it brief. Terrible.
Right on, brother.
Yeah. Well, I sprained my wrist at the same show that you bruised your hand at.
God, we're old.
We are old.
Oh my God.
My back has finally kind of stopped bothering me. Like,
oh, good.
Like
good.
with every movement. Now it's just back to the normal pain it gives me every day. But like my right hand, I have a hard time gripping anything because I'm pretty sure I sprained my wrist. It's getting a little better every day, so I'm not seeking medical attention. Just been icing it and taking ibuprofen. But Saturday was awesome. Hell of a time.
Yeah, dude.
If only I was aware of the coming doom that
I would say the aftermath.
The next week would bring. So
oh my God, what a rough week.
Right. This isn't the time nor the place. This isn't about wrestling in any way, but I will say that my car's in the shop for getting its second transmission replacement since July. So what's that? 5 months.
Yep.
With brand new transmission with about 3,000 miles on it. That's no good. So Subarus stink, but check back on that in a couple weeks to see what they do for me, and maybe I'll change my tune. But that hasn't been fun. That's been a disaster. And also the day that I was without a car because Subaru didn't have a loaner for me, my dog Bugsy started having seizures. So first time ever, she had a seizure in the morning, and I was still asleep. And Michelle, one-time guest host of the show, frequent guest and co-host of Wings on Wings, guest here and co-host of Wings on Wings, just yelled to me that she was having a seizure, which was how I woke up, and came in and sort of just held her and made sure she was okay. It was terrifying. It's like foaming at the mouth and just, spasming. And then we got her to the emergency vet, and we were told a 6 to 10 hour wait.
But I know when you texted me that, dude, I was like, what?
They took her right back. So they take and triage and like get the dog stable, but then it's that long for any sort of actual necessary medical care. They said it just as like a precaution just in case, but we were actually seen pretty quick. Sent home because one seizure could be a fluke, so they don't really treat it. And then later that night, about 8 or 9 hours later, I guess, she had a second one that lasted about 4.5 minutes. 5 minutes or longer leads to potential permanent neurological damage. So she was rushed back. We learned that at the emergency vet, if you're there within the same 24-hour window, they don't like recharge you for the like walk-in fee and everything. So that's real nice. But yeah, and now she's on meds, and we have to run some tests in the coming months and see what's going on. But the meds are holding up, and she is seizure free for 48 hours, a little over 48 hours as of this recording. So she's on Keppra. We've got the prescription, 4 pills a day, 12 hours apart. She cannot miss a dose. And she's good. She's her same jovial, happy, crazy, silly self. Just a little drunk from the side effects of the medicine until her system gets used to it. She'd spend an overnight in the hospital because, as long as we were able to afford it, the medicine becomes effective quicker through IV as opposed to just starting her on a pill and waiting for her body to adjust to the pill. So, they kept her overnight and kept her on the medicine, sort of loading it up to get it in her system faster so that she can come home and just be on the pills and hopefully not have another episode. So, and that's sort of a thing we just monitor for the rest of her life. And she's 10 or 12, depending on who you ask. We've only had her
depending on who you ask.
Yes, we've only had her for about 2 years. And she's a 70-pound bully mix, so not too many years left anyway. But we're trying to make him great, and she's doing good. But as long as she doesn't have any more, we're good. If she has more, you got to add medicines on top of medicines and try and figure out which particular cocktail works, and there's like phenobarbital, a barbiturate is like the most common one that she'll have to go on, and we'll see. So, but that's where we're at. This week was tough. But I did watch some wrestling, and I enjoyed some wrestling, and I did watch wrestling adjacent Black Adam that has the Rock in it. I'm not going to give you my full review of Black Adam, but I will tell you that he does not hit a rock bottom in it.
The movie's shit then.
Even though he had numerous opportunities to do so. But
like, what are we even doing, Dwayne?
It does have a bunch of other stuff that happened. I don't know.
I'm going to watch it eventually.
You should,
but
you should just know that it's messy. It's not great,
and it's done. Like, this story's done. And
that not only is The Rock in it, but he also manages to work in the guy who plays Young Rock on the Young Rock TV show into the movie. So
you've got to be kidding.
Oh
me.
No, I ain't kidding at all, pal.
Oh no, Rock, what are we doing, man?
So,
oh my God, keep it in the family, I guess.
No Roman Reigns and no, none of that stuff. They didn't retcon Black Adam to be Samoan.
They should have.
They absolutely should have. I wonder if there's a Samoan superhero. I don't know.
His name is Roman Reigns.
Yes,
I can't.
Yes, his name is Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
I can't even do that right now.
But that's wrestling adjacent. But watch Black Adam on HBO Max before whatever that disaster comes collapsing down. But before we talk about the wrestling of the week, I do have one little thing I wanted to. Sort of a rehash, not a news item necessarily, but something we talked about, I think, a few weeks ago that came a little bit to light a little bit more today. I don't know if you saw this, but it's regarding Rusev, or Miro, if you will.
Yeah, I saw something about him today.
So there's been talks about why he hasn't been on TV. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, that there wasn't anything for him, and then there was something for him, and he didn't like it, so he didn't want to do it, so he's just not on TV until they can creatively align somewhere. Well, reports are that the creative thing that they pitched him that he didn't want to do was lose.
Dude, like, I saw that. What? I mean, listen, that doesn't work for me, brother. I'm into that.
Sure.
But, like, Rusev, my man, what are we doing here?
Yeah, so if the reports are to be told, he's been pitched a couple of ideas, but ultimately him not coming out on top at the end of the storyline, and he's saying, no, I'll just stay home. And I guess today, as of this recording, Thursday, the 22nd, his flexible wife, CJ Perry,
oh my God,
went on a radio show and said that Rusev will be back in the WWE. Rusev Day will be back. And that
yikes.
Everybody goes back to the WWE eventually anyway. So it's not that big of a deal.
Oh boy.
So,
Oh, CJ Lana Perry at it again.
Right, and she's making a ton of she ain't making Mandy Rose money.
But, well, I mean, who is, to be honest?
I saw Mandy Rose made $500K since her firing.
Whew.
Right?
Get that money, girl.
Absolutely. But not the best look for Miro if it's true that he's refusing to lose, and then sort of his wife at least hints or alludes to the fact that he might be waiting out to get his call back to be with Hunter. I'm sorry, Papa H.
Ew.
But yeah. I liked Miro. the video game playing Miro was one of the worst ideas I think AEW could ever put out for anybody.
Yeah, that
ever.
sucked. That was real bad.
The best thing about that was when Statlander was in the claw machine and blasted Penelope with the plate glass or plexiglass. That
was the coolest.
Smeared. That was the only good thing to come out of that whole deal. But then like the Redeemer stuff and God's Favorite Champion was really cool. But if he's being difficult, and wrestlers are difficult by nature. I think if you become a professional wrestler, you have a certain level of difficultness that you like to toss around and lay on other people. But, there's a big difference between Hulk Hogan saying that doesn't work for me, brother, and Rusev saying, yeah, I'm not going to lose. Who does he think he is? Chris Jericho? Anyway, Chris Jericho just lost. That's unfair of me. Chris Jericho just sabotaged his match ends. But yeah.
That's true.
So that's not news, just a bit more revealed rumor, I guess, allegedly, rumor, innuendo, whatever, about all that. And I would like to see him back. I don't know where there is a spot for him at this point. I think that's the risk you take of sitting home and not being visible, is that, sometimes absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder and you're just forgotten about and they just eventually stop writing for you.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like clamoring for Miro.
Right.
Like I like him. He's cool,
right.
But it's not like, man, you're missing the mark with this dude.
Right. I would love for him to come back and be like wrestle like just a bruiser style, like, and I don't know that he necessarily has it in him, but like to go and wrestle like Ishii or, like become a little more hard hitting sort of gnarly guy like that. But it's the guy who is a WWE system kind of dude. So.
Yep, exactly.
So who knows? Was he around anywhere else before the WWE? I don't even know.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have did like some small indies, but not that I'm aware of.
So.
I have no idea.
Let's see. What's his name? I found him. Trained by Florida Championship Wrestling.
There you go. So he's a WWE guy.
Mr. Effin' and Bein'. In Big Quiche. So.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. 2010. He joined FC Dub.
Wow.
So.
That's gonna be 13 years ago already. Oh my god.
Yeah, crazy, right?
That doesn't seem real.
Yeah. So. Oh, he's born on Christmas Day. He's got a birthday coming up.
Oh, happy birthday in advance.
He's gonna be 38, same age as me. So,
you guys are in peak physical performance
exactly.
For 38.
Almost the same exact physical condition.
Yeah.
So
I really, you two walk down the street, I wouldn't know who was who.
It's true. I even share the accent.
You're probably taller than him.
Am I taller than Rusev? I am. Yes.
Yeah, you're a small giant,
and I outweigh him. Yes, but in in I don't know, solid fat as opposed to his musculature.
You would take him. Are you challenging Rusev to a fight?
I am right now. I'm going to say that right now. I'm challenging Rusev 1-on-1, Pierce Street Brawl, Marcus to Queensberry rules, no holds barred. I didn't hear no bell. Street fight. All
right. Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's make it happen.
Texas death match. I don't know. One of these things.
Next LVAC.
Yes, me versus Miro, in a grapple, in an actual grap. Me and him.
Into it.
Yeah, for the title of greatest Bulgarian.
Are you Bulgarian?
No.
I was gonna say that'd be very strange.
I'm not.
I didn't know you're Bulgarian.
I am in fact not Bulgarian.
Ah, interesting.
Not really. But I'm going to take that title. So
good,
I will become the next indie wrestling show. Smashmaster Wrestling. Book it.
Sure, let me know how it goes.
All right.
I won't be there.
I need you to be my cut man. You got to be in my corner.
Oh! I was gonna say, do you want me to like blade you? I'll do it.
Yes,
I'll gig you if you don't feel comfortable.
Yes, that's how I'm gonna get him. Is I'm gonna gig immediately, and he's gonna wonder why I'm bleeding everywhere.
I think more wrestlers should do that.
Yeah,
John Moxley does it all the time. You could be the next John Moxley.
Right there, you go. And I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm gonna whisper in his ear, and say, Rusev, Are we going to fight or are we going to fuck? Because I'm getting naked either way.
See, there we go.
Right. And then, you know,
I'm into it.
It's psychological. You got to get in these guys' heads.
Psychological, psychosexual, whatever.
Right. All the same. It's all the same. You got to get in their heads first. Got to, you know.
Oh.
It's like when Rocky's fighting righty in Rocky 2, and then Mickey's like, switch to the left, and then he switched lefty, and Apollo don't know what to do. It's all the same.
Dude, every time I watch, I never know who's going to win.
Right. Never know. It's going to be different every time.
Yeah, it was shot in real time.
Right. It was. Just like Highlander. It's a documentary.
You know, I've still never seen Highlander.
Really?
Yeah, I never saw it.
That's insane. All right. Well,
oh, I'm sorry.
If only it were a Christmas movie. Like Die Hard.
That is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard.
No matter what anybody says.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie. That's what it is. It mostly takes place at a Christmas party. It's a Christmas movie. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Let's talk wrestling, unless you have anything else. Do you have anything else, pal?
I have zero.
All right. Thanks for your contributions.
Well, hey man. It is what it is this week, brother.
I agree.
So yeah, wrestling wise,
yes.
Other than AEW, the only thing I watched was I scrolled through SmackDown because I wanted to watch Gunther versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental title.
Okay.
And yeah, those two put on a hell of a match. It was like classic, like big guy versus small flippy guy. Tons of falsies. It was so good. Gunther's like making the Intercontinental Championship important again, which makes me very happy.
Huh?
Yeah. So the rumor is it's going to be him Brock at Mania.
Oh boy.
Which would be killer.
Okay.
And you have to have Gunther beat Brock.
I think so, yeah.
You have to have it.
At some point, you have to make somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like, in wrestling as a whole, and I could say the same thing for AEW, and I could say the same thing for, like, Impact, who keep bringing back Bully Ray. Like, at some point, you have to decide we're going to make someone else other than the 45-year-old guys we've been rotating in and out of the main event.
Yeah.
So.
No, you're 100% right. But yeah, I mean, the match was like super good.
Yeah.
Go out of your way to watch it. It's good wrestling on main WWE television, which I'm always up for that. And then I got bummed out because afterwards Braun Strowman ran him off, and I was like, "Ew, come on!"
Ran off
Gunther.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Well, I mean, if Strowman stinks. And the match won't be good, but if Gunther can beat the shit out of Strowman, it does bring a level of like, oh, okay, they're going somewhere with this guy.
That's the thing, though. Let him do that.
Yeah, he's going to have to beat Strowman.
Yeah,
you can't let the Choo Choo Man beat Gunther.
Don't like have him like roll him up or something.
Yeah. He is strong.
Have him
strong,
physically dominate him.
Right.
The only other thing that I have from that show, because I'm going to leave all the Uncle Howdy coverage to Joe and Adam at odds, because I'm sure they're going to break that down frame by frame.
Mm-hmm.
December 30th, the last SmackDown of the year, John Cena's back.
Oh.
He's teaming with Kevin Owens against Roman and Sammy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I guess Cena like kind of popped up on the screen and he's like, because earlier in the show, Roman was like, "Hey," to Adam Pearson. He said, "Let's make me and Sammy versus Kevin and a partner of his choosing last SmackDown of the year."
Mm-hmm.
And with the idea that no one likes Kevin Owens,
right?
When Cena popped up like on the screen and was like, "Hey, I got a text from Kevin Owens that this will be my first time in 20 years that I haven't had a match in WWE." And he goes, "We can't have that happen." Nice. So he said, "Yeah, December 30th, it's going to be Owens and Cena against Sammy and Roman." So
I like that.
I'm down with that.
Do you think it's going to go anywhere for like Cena Roman or?
No. I think it'll just be a one-off. Okay. That's all.
Owen should have got on the phone with his buddy Stone Cold.
Well, yeah, giving that away for free.
That's true,
pal.
That
definitely wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was all I had for non-AEW stuff.
Okay.
So I guess we'll just go to AEW.
Yeah.
Rampage, John Moxley, Sammy Guevara. Moxley decides, hey, I'm going to bleed out of my ear.
Well, yeah, and they did it in a commercial. So Sammy like bites out his earring, and like Renee tweets like, "Oh, my husband's ear hanging on for dear life." So everybody thought his ear fell off. Not true. He just got the earring ripped out of it, which I think he's done before.
He has, yeah.
And he did bleed everywhere, but they did it in a commercial. Time this shit out better, guys.
Yeah, especially for a tape show.
Yeah, for a tape show especially. But I like this match. It made me halfway through forget that I don't like Sammy.
Yes. Oh, man. I think about Sammy sometimes and I'm like, dude, what happened?
Right?
Like, I thought he was going to be like, he was ready to blow and then just nothing.
Oh, he did exactly that. He blows.
It's so, it bums me out. But yeah, I thought the match was really good. Moxley just bleeding everywhere. I'm always a fan of that.
Yeah.
And then Hangman running out and then brawling again. I think is always cool.
Yeah.
More on that later.
There was some cool stuff. I like the transitions at the end. They worked well together. But yeah, Mox is man. We're gonna. I think he talked about it on the main show too. Does he? No, he just cut. Oh, no, he does. Yeah. Mox just like, hey guys, I want to wrestle. Can I wrestle? Let me wrestle on every show that you possibly have. I'm going to wrestle.
That's all the man wants to do.
Right.
Let the man wrestle.
Yeah. So, yeah, and he calls out Hangman and chaos ensues.
Yeah. So after that was, Britt Baker, Sky Blue.
Well, we got a couple promos. We got an FTR promo. I
don't remember this.
Yeah, we got a Jade Cargill promo, where she warns Bow Wow to stay out of her shit again, and I'm like, it's a wet fart of an idea. Just stop talking about it.
Like, why are we still doing this?
Right. Jade's wrestling promo should just be her standing in the ring while they show a slideshow of her Instagram.
Not wrong.
It's the best way to get. I don't know if over is the right word for it, but something. But yes, Britt Baker versus Sky Blue. I have no notes on this match.
Me neither.
Until Hikaru Shida comes out in the red suit. And let me just pile on the grease. Hikaru Shida in the red suit with the ankle cut combat boots. It's just it's an A+ look. Shida puts it all together, and I like Shida. Chef's kiss to Shida in the red suit.
Certainly checks a box, if you will.
Does. Shida with the save to build for Dynamite. That's the matches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You had the little Preston Vance sit down with JR.
Yeah, this is interesting too, because like there was a time in professional wrestling where when you had to sit down with JR, it was like make or break, right? It was like, this is your star making moment. Mick Foley, the Mankind promo, the sit down with JR was such a huge moment in the progress and evolution of Mick Foley's character and the overness of how he was. You'd sit with JR and you'd get that would be the rub. You get the magic push after that. Well, JR's magic has run out, and we just have the return of Vanilla Vance.
Yeah, he's certainly vanilla, all right.
He rushed this entire promo. He buries a little kid.
I know. Poor -1.
Poor -1. I see some people complaining online about them using Brody Lee's name in this promo and this program to get it over. And like, I don't think it's in poor taste. Especially with some of Brody's family members being employed by the company, I would assume.
Sure.
It's talked about anyway. I think the bigger problem is that Vance is so unconvincing in a role outside of muscly masked dude who doesn't say anything, who is best friends with a little kid. I think that's the problem, is just that Vance is Vanilla Preston Vance. We used to call him that 3 years ago when he first showed up. And he's back. And it's just what it is.
Yeah, it just does nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that do nothing,
Yes.
Wardlow had a squash.
Okay, so we're going to say this name twice this week. So, Exodus Prime. So,
sure.
I can't wait for Megatron Alpha to show up. That's going to be really fun. Or when Wardlow gets to squash Lesnar Guerrero live on TV.
Like, what if they just like have all the job guys just with like weird Transformer names?
Yes, I would love that. Yes.
Like, WCW had Blood Runs Cold, AEW just has Transformer jobbers.
Yes, like Starscream Smith and I don't even know, Bumblebee Jones.
Dude, I was literally gonna say Bumblebee Jones. What the fuck? Everything is Jones.
Everything's Jones. Yeah. So that's Exodus Prime. Good for him. I hope he doesn't listen. But that's a squash. And then Wardlow calls out Joe. For whatever reason. Wardlow's getting the back end of the bad end of this program with Samoa Joe, because as we'll talk about on Dynamite, Samoa Joe is just wiping the floor with him in every aspect of wrestling television.
Yeah, dude. Like it's insane.
And so
he's the king of television. I like it.
And Wardlow just comes out like sweating and snarling, and Joe just shows up in like a Hawaiian suit, like a Hawaiian shirt and a suit, and he's like, "Hey, Wardlow, you stink. I'm cool."
And I'm like, it's Samoa Joe. He's
right.
100% right.
100% right.
I love that man.
Yes.
So yeah, main event was it Best Friends and Dustin?
Yes. It's double Dustins on this team, but yes, the Best Friends and Dustin Rhodes versus what I have labeled here as a mess.
Oh, why?
Well, Butcher and Blade, right?
Uh-huh.
And who else?
Was it Roosh?
Was it Roosh? Okay.
I don't remember, to be honest, man. I have no idea.
I don't know. Oh, no, it was like Kip Sabian.
Oh, yeah, and Trent Seven.
There you go. Yeah, so it was OC, Trent, and Chuck and Dustin Rhodes versus Trent Seven, Kip Sabian, and the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, lots of Trents and Dustins going on.
Yes.
What's up with that?
Yeah. Gotta get that under control. JR is going to have an aneurysm. This match was fine. I like Butch a lot, but that's about all I can say for that side. I do appreciate that Kip Sabian looks a lot like a professional wrestler now. Like, he clearly spent a lot of money on his look and his entrance jacket and his gear. He's come a long way from teaming with the Havoc dude that like painted himself white and carried an axe.
Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah. But yeah.
The less said about him, the better.
Exactly. But I will say we did get Shattered Dreams at the end of this, the unnatural kick or whatever they call it in this company.
Yeah, something weird.
It's Shattered Dreams. And I like the sort of the ref distract. OC does the OC kicks Shattered Dream spot. They distract the ref so that Dustin can do it properly, because it is a DQ technically. It used to be back in the day as well until they laxed those rules. So, I love Dustin. I like seeing him wrestle. I like seeing him with Best Friends. I was hoping for like now I'm going to challenge OC for the belt for the All Atlantic title, but that's fine. As long as Dustin Rhodes is backstage going, "This is my last year wrestling. Let me wrestle people I want to wrestle," I'm fine with it.
I did like the spot in the match where OC and Danhausen both faked getting punched in the groin.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Those two they're a ton of fun.
They are.
I like those guys.
I saw today that Jeremy Padour, Jazzware is purchased by a different company. That's news.
Yeah, wasn't it Berkshire Hathaway or something? It was,
yes, Stokely Hathaway. Bunny Hathaway.
Oh, easy there. Don't say that name out loud. Next thing you're gonna know, I don't know. No, I forget all the The names, never mind. I'm rambling. Leave me be.
What is Berkshire Hathaway? Is that what you were going to ask?
Yeah, what is that? Isn't there like, aren't they like a big company?
Yeah, they're I don't know what they
Some
are.
sort of firm.
Yeah, they're just like I don't know. They're just like they own a bunch of brands. You know, they're just a big, and they're like an investor or something. I don't quite understand. A multinational conglomerate company, conglomerate holding company, headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska. Its main business and source of capital is insurance. So they buy companies, they try and squeeze what money they can out of them, and either keep squeezing money or dump them eventually once they've bled them dry, basically, because it's capitalism in America. But Padour put up the Jervis Cottonbelly Orange Cassidy clip from when OC falls asleep in the match. And that got some love today, and that's a fun clip. So I think that shows some fun OC stuff. That's maybe a little too goofy for TV, but still works really well and is done really well. So
put it on TV. Let me see it.
All right. Yeah. Well,
come on. Let's not be scared.
Yeah. But
don't be scared, homie.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Dynamite, right?
Yeah. We don't have anything else. We're flying through because.
Yeah.
There
just wasn't a ton this week.
Well, what weeks we both had.
Well, yeah,
honestly,
that's true.
And we're not allowed to tell jokes, so we can't be funny.
No jokes.
We're here for a bad time.
Yeah, I'm here for a bad time, brother. So before we get started with Dynamite, I will say this has to be like some of the most quotable lines ever in the history of AEW happened on this show.
Yes.
So it made me like super pumped about it. Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho.
A lot of talking on this episode.
Yeah, didn't hate it.
No, a lot of chatting.
Yeah. Ricky Starks, comes out with the promo. Jericho interrupts with Garcia and Sammy. He wants Starks to join the JAS. Starks just cuts another like hellacious promo on Jericho.
Yeah, killer promo.
Including the line of if you want something to suck on, I got it for you, and proceeds to start unbuckling his pants.
Yep.
And then looks at Jericho and says, I don't think your appetite is big enough for that tonight.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, Ricky Starks is the coolest.
and we got Jasshole.
The Jassholes.
The Jassholes and the Jobber Appreciation Society.
Yeah. Dude, Ricky's so good.
Yeah, Ricky's money. Even like Michelle was watching for a little bit, and when the crowd started chanting Jassholes or Jobbers and whatever, she's like, oh, that really caught on quick. And I'm like, that's because Ricky knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Ricky's a smart man.
And I think all of us, and by all of us, I mean the entirety of the professional wrestling community, have been asking the $1 million question over the last 2 weeks or so was, what young hot star is Jericho going to attach himself to now to stay relevant and eventually botch a finish, so they can never show it again? And we got our answer.
Yeah, I like that Ricky even kind of says that, like, oh, no,
yeah,
you're not going to sink your teeth into me, you clout, like, chaser,
right.
Right. He goes, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Ricky's the man here.
Yes.
Action Andretti makes the save, got a huge pop, which was really cool.
Yeah, we're in what I'm going to call for now the Action Andretti experiment. I appreciate what they're doing. I hope that it works. I am staying cautiously optimistic. He seems like a nice guy. He's got a good look. But let's see what he does in when the bell rings kind of stuff. But it's,
do you appreciate that Memphis Fireball he took?
I love that Memphis Fireball that he took.
Dude, it was like brutal.
Yeah, the best thing that Jericho has done, like to like quote unquote reinvent himself, is that he just does Memphis Fireballs to everybody now.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm way into
And
that.
it's nice to have someone even a step less problematic doing a Memphis Fireball in wrestling regularly. Because prior to this, we've somehow managed to have a guy more problematic than Jericho, or Jericho's immediate and extended family. So doing Memphis Fireball. So Jericho does a good job at them. I like him.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. We get the what is this, match number 5 in this best of 7 garbage.
Yes.
So I'll say this was probably my favorite of the one so far, just because there was weapons.
It was a lot of fun, right? That makes wrestling more fun. AEW has the tendency to do fun hardcore matches sort of unapologetically on regular TV.
Yeah.
Which is nice. My biggest concern is like storytelling wise, I'm like, what advantage does this bring the Young Bucks? And to an extent, Kenny. At least Kenny's been in one before, but I'm like, if you're, and I understand the thing with the hammer, and the hammer's a DQ, and so like, you beat us with the hammer, so we're going to make the hammer legal, so you can just use the hammer on us. That's a weird way to go about addressing that issue. But you would think, like, you know what, you've been cheating to win, and that's fine, we'll give it to you, but we get to pick the stipulation for the next matches because you've had an unfair advantage. You would think the people picking the stipulation would pick a kind of match they're known for, or that they can conceivably portray having an advantage in. And hardcore matches are not what comes to mind when I think of the Young Bucks' abilities and advantage.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But it was fun.
Like Kenny's had his fair share of hardcore matches.
Right.
Like that. Remember that one Moxley match? That thing was nuts.
Right.
But yeah, like I thought it was fun. And then at the end, people bled everywhere.
Yes.
So
right.
That always makes me happy.
Right. So I think that sort of thing, I was like wondering, okay, well, the Young Bucks in a hardcore match do nothing for me, but the match ended up being pretty fun.
Yeah, I agree. So it's, where are we going? Match number 6? Is that next week, I think?
I guess, yeah. So 3 and 2 they are right now.
Yeah, it is funny how they're just making this like an NBA series just because the Young Bucks are NBA fans.
Right.
It's so weird.
If there's a God in heaven, this ends next week with a Death Triangle win. And we could walk away knowing like, well, the Bucks almost came back. But I think we all knew from the beginning this thing was going 7.
Sure.
And that it's the belts are gonna change hands.
I would imagine so. I'd hate that, but I'd imagine so.
Yeah, because they're sort of righting a wrong in some ways. I don't believe it's a wrong necessarily, but like, they were going to have them before Brawl Out, the Bucks and Kenny, these were for them. So you can put that on them now and try and do what you were going to do with them earlier.
Yeah, you're sadly right.
Especially when you're AEW and you're stacking the deck against whoever the champions are with the newest 3-person team to debut on YouTube for AEW.
Who was that?
You didn't see this?
No.
You didn't see the debut of the Spanish Announce Project?
No.
You're not kidding me.
No, why would I joke about that?
So Spanish Announce Project, does that does that sound similar to anything to you?
Well, yeah, SAT.
Okay. So the Maximos are complaining and are threatening legal action for the close name. But on Dark Elevation, there is a new trios team. And I don't know if they'll ever make it to the main event here, or to, they're not ready for prime time. But the Spanish Announce Project. Are you sitting down?
I am actually, yes.
And Helico.
Okay.
Serpentico.
Okay. Oh, God. It's going to be Luther. I know it.
And Dr. Luther.
Cool, man. That's awesome. What are we doing with life?
So, so that's the thing. I'm assuming that they're just they're going to have to make some random trios so that there's people to have matches against that aren't always like title matches, because like you're doing this best of 7, but then what's next? They're gonna fight the Blackpool Combat Club, or you know what I mean, or like Butcher and Blade and somebody, or Page and whatever. Like there's not a lot of mid card trios, that people who can take the loss at the hands of the champions. You can't do that to the Best Friends. You can't do that to the Blackpool Combat Club. So they gotta build some random trios. So we got the Spanish Announce Project.
Well, you know what? You're right about the trios, because look at, what the fuck is that thing they're doing on Rampage? Like, the $300,000 Triple King Battle Bot Ground match, or
I
whatever.
wish it was Battle Bots. I wish every wrestler just had his own Battle Bot.
That would be great.
Yes.
Like, they really are trying to push that.
Which was funny on commentary, because Shivani called it the $3,000 whatever, and Excalibur was like, it's $300,000, but you were close, Tony.
No, I did like that when they were like kind of doing the video package to hype it up, and Trent's like, if we win, I'm buying my mom a house.
Yeah.
Chuck's like, I'm buying my mom a chainsaw, and OC's like, I'm buying Trent's mom a house.
Yeah.
That was another line, like, oh my God, I was laughing so hard when he said that.
Yep.
God, so many lines.
Remember when Trent's mom was on TV a whole bunch?
Dude,
good for her.
Man, I was going to say, I don't remember her name. It was like Sharon or Susie or something.
I think it's Sue, right?
Sue.
Sue Beretta.
Sue Beretta. You had the little, I'll tell you what, MJF like promo from last week that they showed, like after he got ran out by Danielson.
Yeah.
And this was one of those where I was like, yep, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know if it's because it's a pre-tape, or if he's just not trying to like be like funny shtick, low-hanging fruit guy. Like when he like actually tries to sound like a vicious heel and stuff, I'm like, no, it's actually believable.
I think it
was a good promo.
Yeah, I think it's easier to give him direction when it's a pre-tape that's supposed to be 30 seconds as opposed to 5 minutes in the ring with a live mic and people booing him,
No, it's sad, but it's true.
Yeah. So,
So then after this, you had Bryan Danielson out in the ring.
We did.
Shout out Rudy Boy Gonzalez. I was real pumped about that.
Absolutely. He named like every city in Texas, and then talked about Rudy Boy. Mentioned Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, big HBK chant.
Yes.
And then out comes, he calls out MJF.
Yeah.
And then out comes Stoke and Ethan Page.
Uh-huh.
And just like quotable lines. Ethan calling him Vegetable Man.
Yeah.
And then when Danielson responds, like, did you really just try to insult me by calling me Vegetable Man?
Right.
And then, Stoke, like, hey, you should be at home with your kids, going to Trader Joe's, buying cauliflower Cheetos, whatever the hell it is that you do, taking probiotics.
Yeah.
And then Danielson be like, I couldn't really hear you between these crowds, like, politely telling you to shut up, and that glare off your forehead.
Yeah.
Like, can you just try to grow some hair? And then the line of the night, you raggedy bitch.
Yeah, you raggedy bitch. Like, just
you raggedy bitch.
Yeah.
Dude, like, it was so funny.
It was really good.
Man, Danielson and Stoke, like, seeing Stoke getting to, like, shine like this.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, it's so cool, man.
For sure. Yeah, and Dragon, he's so bad at promos. It's weird.
I love Dragon.
Yeah,
God, he's the coolest.
I know. Absolutely.
You had Hook. Who did Hook beat up? I don't have it written down.
You're jumping way ahead. He beat up Exodus Prime. But you skipped the Mox promo on Hangman.
Oh, dude, that was so good. I'm surprised I didn't have that written down.
Right. Really good promo again. Shocker.
Like, dude, Mox is the man.
Mox
He's
is
so cool.
wildly doing some crazy stuff as a professional wrestler right now.
Yeah.
And then
That's my guy.
Samoa Joe Happy Holidays promo.
Oh, how could I forget? That's right.
Which is awesome. Like calm, cool, collected Joe is way scarier than like Joe's gonna kill you, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, like he just seems like a maniac in this promo, but like very calm. A little like almost like Jake the Snake-esque, you know, in its calmness. Not anything else about it is Jake, but just in like Jake never raised his voice.
Yeah.
Jake didn't scream at you. Jake didn't like snort. Well, Jake snorted, but he didn't like.
I was just saying, you want to retract that statement?
I mean, okay, yeah, snort is the wrong. I meant like an animal noise snort, but I guess growl is a better thing because Jake definitely did a couple of toots here and there.
Oh yeah,
a couple, 2-3 of them.
Skied the Alps, I'd say.
The fuck is this, chocolate?
Jake.
Just that calm, cool, collected, but absolutely unhinged, psychotic promo. Joe's really good at that, and he's the king of TV. So
he is. He's the king of my heart.
And
I love Samoans Joe.
And then we get Hook versus Exodus Prime, getting squashed out 2 weeks in a row, 2 live shows in a row. So
good for him.
Hey, get that money. I'd do it. Hire me. I'll get squashed.
Get those appearances, brother.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Jungle Boy got chokeslammed into a dumpster by Big Bill.
By 2G's Big Bill.
Dude, that was like fun. That happened.
It was a really fun, like, it was something that, like, you would think wouldn't be fun. Like, oh, okay, Bill, here comes Big Bill and whatever. But it was actually, like, a fun backstage promo. And I think one of the commentators said backstage assault. And I was like, no, backstage assault.
The worst wrestling game in the history of maybe one of the worst video games ever.
Yeah. You don't have to pin that one into wrestling.
Let's have a pro wrestling game with no ring.
Right. You don't have to pin that one into wrestling. That could just be broader video game.
Oh God.
Yeah. That was after a cool this segment.
Yeah, man. I thought him chokeslamming him into a dumpster looked sick.
Yeah.
After that, was it Mox and Darius Martin?
Yes.
Yeah. How the hell did Mox start bleeding again?
I don't know. Why? Who cares?
Like, I just looked at him and all of a sudden he's bleeding. I was like, all right, brother. But yeah, he pretty much whoops this dude.
Yeah. I watched this match and I was like, Moxley's just a pit fighter at this point. Like, he's just like, there's like, it's not good guy or bad guy. It's just cheer for me if you want. I don't care. I'm just going to beat an ass every week. And that's just what it is. Send them out, because they're having, it was a preview of the $300,000 thing, or is it?
I believe something like that.
Blackpool Combat Club Wrestling, Top Flight, and AR Fox. I don't know. So it was
because both teams are in that battle royal.
Okay.
Or I think it's a battle royal. I don't know.
It's a preview for something, so that's why this match happened. But yeah, Mox, like, Darius gets a couple of things, but Mox kind of just swallows him up. I wouldn't say it was a squash, but it was definitely one-sided.
Yeah, and it was cool as hell.
Yeah.
Sure. After that, I believe was the Guns versus FTR.
Again, you're skipping interesting things here. This is where you're taking your notes. Book of Hobbs Part 2.
Oh, you know what? I missed this. I forget. I think I got up to get some like NyQuil or something.
Okay.
That's why I missed this part.
Green Death flavor.
Of course, dude.
But it was just another promo. It's good. I think it's doing really good to build up Hobbs, you know, and how he's just sort of talked about, like, you know, the trauma. He's been beaten, he's been cheated, you know, no kid deserved to be like that, but whatever. And so it was a good little thing again. I like Hobbs. I hope he comes out of this, like, you know, I hope the crowd really buys in and he gets a good position on the card, because I like Hobbs, and this is a good way to keep him in everyone's mind while the card opens up for him to have some matches, because the card's pretty packed right now.
It is, man,
and that's an interesting thing too. I'll talk about it here before we get to the end of the show. This show was sort of like the first show where almost everybody was moving on to new things. Like, normally it would be like right after a pay-per-view, you'd get to that, you know?
Yeah.
And like, instead you got like everybody sort of doing new things. Starks and Jericho, you know, Samoa Joe, Wardlow's still happening. But like you're starting to there's some interesting pair offs. The Mox Hangman thing is building up. From Jungle Boy, like the next thing we're going to talk about, the Ass Boys FTR, that's been waiting to pay off for a while, and then they're finally moving Swerve and Keith Lee in a position. It's cool to sort of see stuff start to like evolve and revolve in a different way. Like, everything sort of Ring of Honor stuff is a little bit done, although at some point here we did get a Sanjay Dutt rap that we didn't talk about.
Oh, brother.
But I like
Taz being shoot mad at how bad it was.
Yeah, I was hoping that Double J rapped, but he didn't. But like,
should have.
Everything finally feels like a certain era of AEW is over, and programs are starting to open up, and spots in the card are starting to open up for a couple people here and there to slide in, and I like that. That feels nice. I think that's been a critique of AEW, was that Tony was trying to get Ring of Honor stuff sort of ham-fisted in there so much, that the show started to suffer a bit, and this one sort of felt a little bit more of an evolution of what AEW is going to be for the next couple of months, and that was nice.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that.
Ass Boys versus FTR. The one FTR broke his literal ass.
Yeah, man. Old Dax, who has his own podcast now.
Yes, FTR cast or whatever.
See what his first topic is?
No, CM Punk?
Uh-huh.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh boy, he's not making any friends backstage.
Yep, it's Punk. He said, no, he's not a guest, just the topic.
Interesting.
So that's hey, you want people to listen to your first episode, right? There you go.
Yeah, and this is sort of he's taking over the feed of the Gentleman Villain podcast. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah, dude. I thought the match was it was okay. You know, I think FTR is like incredible.
Yeah, this is about the best of the Ass Boys can be.
Yeah.
It's
FTR is. Yeah, FTR kills it.
Yeah.
They're just, I don't know, man. They're so good. Like, you can't even deny it at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, Ass Boys get the win.
Dressed as Bret Hart.
Yeah, real weird. Like, Shawn Michaels entrance gear Bret Hart tights though.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Come out dressed as the Beverly Brothers, then we'll talk.
And now we're talking.
Right. Like, if they want to dress, like, let's go. Let's cycle through some actual tag teams. Let's get obscure with this shit. Stop copying, some of the best guys. Let's put some antlers on your head and come out as the Faces of Fear. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I guess the antlers on the head's already being done though. So that can't.
Oh
happen.
yeah, Malachi.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what other tag teams could they come out dressed as? The Ding Dongs.
Oh, the Dicks.
The Basham brothers. They can come out dressed as the Bashams and have Jade manage them.
I mean, all right, if you want to rehash weird Ruthless Aggression era stuff, why not?
Right, because the Basham had the manager who was like a super built woman, right?
She won Tough Enough that one year.
Oh, okay, all right, good. So there you go.
Her name was Linda Miles, so Cousin Linda.
Oh, Cousin Linda. There you go. And what? Who else? Let's see.
Speaking of cousins that are in the WWE,
okay.
Can we talk about real quick Top Dollar from Friday night?
You want to, okay. So clearly the biggest moment of the night is next in our AEW topic. So let's make people wait for that for a second more.
Brother, I must have watched this clip fucking 20 times and I laughed as hard each time.
Yeah.
My man goes to hit it like a tope over the top rope and he just doesn't get up at all. It just like floats over, like just belly rolls over the top rope.
I've never seen a human get spaghetti legs before, like hitting something. It was really interesting. I'm proud to admit, not proud to admit, but I will admit that I was a Top Dollar apologist.
You absolutely were.
Who's better than Top Dollar? Not Nada. I thought for a guy of his ability, he used what he had to the best sort of way. You know, I don't think he tried to do too much. I never thought he was a great wrestler, but I thought he sort of knew what his lane was and was very good at staying in it and using it. I can see how horribly wrong I was. I apologize to my family for in this moment of great embarrassment and disgrace. I will hang my head in shame over how wrong I was. Top Dollar, not Nada getting over that rope.
My man struggled.
I appreciate that, like, he flopped over and, like, kind of hit one of them with a leg and then sold it anyway. Like, you know, because, like, in that moment, you have a choice to make, right? Like, you can either, like, while the arena is audibly laughing at you on television, the commentators are laughing, like, you got two options. You can do two things. You can either boo-boo face and walk away, you know, just like walk yourself back to the corner of the ring and just be like, okay, I fucked that up, whatever. Or you act like you hit that fucker and it was successful.
And I like, dude, like the crowd just immediately started chanting, "You fucked up," and just audible laughter. And I was having so much fun.
I appreciate that he sold it as if it worked. You know, it's like it's actually worse than QT Marshall's handspring fucking pile of shit that he does.
The Thorazine kid himself.
The Thorazine kid himself, QT Marshall. Yeah, so Top Dollar, you know, he's not Nada. Not gonna do that one again, for damn sure.
Nope, I don't think he will.
Or maybe he will. Maybe he'll practice it for the next 6 months and break it out and prove to everyone that he can do it.
Something tells me that's not going to happen.
I have a feeling that if he does ever do it again, it'll be in a different company after he's released in the next 3 months, because he's gotta be one of the ones that's disappointing Papa H, right?
Yeah, he fucking sucks. So Dynamite.
Yes, back to AEW.
Let's talk about some real people that are the actual hip hop stars.
The segment that, dare I say, had moments that rivaled Top Dollar not making it over that top rope. But it did open with which could make my list of top 5 moments. For next week's year-in review episode of Rick Ross saying, "You a big motherfucker."
Dude, I was
Live on TV.
Happy when that happened. I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I hope he slips up. I hope he says something that he shouldn't. And my man just looks at Keith Lee and just goes, "You a big motherfucker." And I'm like, he's not wrong. It's the coolest thing ever.
Right. Listen, we talk on this show in the past. We've talked about it personally. It's a great actual wrestling fan personal heartbreak of mine when Keith Lee entered that Rumble when Lesnar was by himself and Lesnar was like on camera, like, "That's a big boy."
Yeah.
And he did nothing with it.
Nope, we never got any sort of payoff for that.
Lee is one of these guys who was offered his job back, and him and Swerve both said, "No, we're good."
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I do too.
But being over the Brock Lesnar thing was like this is awesome. Like Lesnar's ready to help Keith Lee be made. Rick Ross walking into a ring and then for seemingly the first time standing next to Keith Lee and having the genuine, honest reaction into a microphone that Keith Lee is in fact a big motherfucker.
Dude, it was the
amazing.
Best.
It's the best. I understand that like they then like put it on a delay and there was really shitty audio and the whole segment falls apart from there. But I'm not kidding. Like it is contender to make my top 5 greatest moments of the year because it is perfect. And it's a thing that I just love in wrestling. That was a genuine reaction. Because if he was that good of an actor, the rest of the segment would have been better.
Yeah.
He just looked at Keith Lee and was like, this dude's big.
Dude, so, like, I guess he was on that Busted Open this morning, Rick Ross.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked him about it.
Yeah.
And he said, he looks like he weighs, to me, up close between 360 and 370 pounds. When he kind of turned his back to me, I realized the size and width of his shoulders and his trapezoids.
Yeah.
And then he also said, there's a good chance AEW will get more gifts. I like Tony Khan. Tony Khan is a cool motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Dude, he is the man.
Yeah.
I love Rick Ross. I loved when he had that one random backstage thing with Swerve and Keith Lee months ago.
Yeah.
When he just yelled out, accusations.
Yeah.
False accusations.
Right, I forgot about that.
Like,
yes.
I would have just said, I sent that like gift to somebody today of him doing that. Like, it's just the best, man.
Yeah. But sadly, this segment falls the fuck apart.
Yeah, sadly, Swerve comes out and they're kind of just like talking to each other, and then your boy Parker Bordeaux,
shake,
jumps Keith Lee from behind, and he gets his ass beat quick.
And rightfully so. Listen, I'm very passionate about this. Parker Bordeaux is a mistake. Parker Bordeaux sucks. Man.
Yeah.
Look at those punches. Like, look at everything he did. Look at he was making like worse than Gigi Dolan faces after punching a guy.
He's so bad.
He's so bad. He's a mistake. WWE signed him thinking he was going to be something, and they released him relatively quickly, and for whatever reason, AEW scooped him up, and I've been saying from the beginning, he is a mistake. He is going to prove to all of you that he is a mistake. He was a mistake on the Trustbusters, and he's a mistake here in whatever Swerve's thing is going to be called.
Mogul was it Mogul Affiliates?
Mogul Affiliates, because they're aligned with Rick Ross. Is that how this is? I'm very confused.
Because then you have this other dude come out who's like, they didn't get a clear look at him, but he just has words tattooed all over him.
Yes, I looked him up. I forget his name. He's not Tom McDonald that people were reporting. He's a different guy that has been a professional baseball player. He was like a number 2 pick in a draft years ago, and he's been playing like mid-level ball and being a pro wrestler for a few years.
Yeah. Cool.
Also a mistake. Like, let's just talk about where we're at here. But I did, here we go. Grandin Goatsman.
Cool.
11-year pro ball player. He goes by King of the Klondike on Instagram and Twitter if you want to look him up. He is just a dude who is heavily tattooed in mostly words. I'm looking at him right now. He's got a lot of symbols on his face. His body has like, I don't know, lyrics or something.
Cool.
Under the bludgeonings, my head is bloody, beyond the place of something. I don't know. Yeah.
God, this guy sounds like he
measure
rocks.
of a man is not in the moments of comfort and something where he stands at times of controversy. Man, lots of words, lots of tattooing words and other stuff. I don't understand it. I don't see the point. I don't see what these guys are going to bring to this. I was almost as bored with this segment as Keith Lee was. Because Keith Lee wasn't feeling this segment, man.
Listen, if Rick Ross is sticking around, I'm all in.
Right, that's fine. And I hope their intention isn't to get Swerve to get these guys over, because I don't see it. Parker Bordeaux's a mistake, and this new guy, like, there was no reaction. Nobody even knew who he was. Commentary seemingly didn't know who he was.
Yeah, they never said it was his name or anything.
So that's not great. And Keith Lee having to sell for these guys, he was doing the minimum effort on those sort of things. He was as there for this as I was. I think with this segment and then it being on delay, so all the audio echoed weirdly. I think AEW for the first time showed the world the impossible, that Swerve isn't always cool.
I don't know, man. That stomp at the end through the cinder block was pretty cool.
Through the cinder block was cool, but the segment as a whole, I think, was just a giant mess. And we're going to suffer through Swerve trying to get these other two idiots over. Unless Rick Ross is just going to try and get these two idiots over. I don't know. Let's see where this goes, because that's what we do. But if you're not giving me Swerve versus Keith Lee in like a 5-star at a pay-per-view, I guess if you're going to give me that, which is seemingly what they're going to do, I guess I'll be all right with sitting through these idiots teamed up with Swerve. But God, if I see anybody online say Parker Bordeaux is good, I'm going to block them.
Accusations. False accusations.
Parker Bordeaux is a mistake.
You're not wrong.
Just like Marina Shafir isn't the problem, she is a problem.
She sure is.
Parker.
I'll tell you what's not a problem though, DJ.
Okay.
This main event.
The main event. I see you. Okay, you're pushing me along here. You want me to stop talking about how bad Parker Bordeaux is, bad enough that you want to force the segue there. I like it. I appreciate the gusto, because frankly, I would spend the next 40 minutes complaining about that oddly vibrating jackass.
Yeah. Trademark that real quick. Doug, if you're listening, put the papers in, my good sir. So yeah, main event, AEW Women's World Title.
Yes.
Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida. During the week, Jamie Hayter promised that this is going to be like a 90s All Japan Women's Wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
And to that I say, those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yes.
Jamie Hayter, you're awesome. Hikaru Shida, you're awesome. This match, easily the best women's match in AEW history, I'd say.
I think so. This is the 5th time the women's match has main evented an AEW show of one kind or another. This match fucking rocked. I think American TV has too many restraints to allow this to be a 90s All Japan women's match.
Well, yeah.
You can't actually, as much as Moxley bleeds, you can't actually bleed as much as Bull Nakano and Akira Hakuto did in those days.
Yeah.
But
or dump
dump Matsumoto. But barring what I felt were some really inopportune commercial breaks, I think, again, I've said this about other matches too. And I think you should trust your main event people and limit commercial breaks during your main event. I know it's hard because advertisers want to advertise during the top spots of the show. But I think the 2 commercial breaks this match had sort of broke it up a little oddly. That being said, this match ruled. Both of us have been on board with both of these ladies since pretty much their initial show up in
Absolutely.
AEW.
Yep.
Shida, to me, and I'll speak for you, was the very obvious front runner in that division when this company started.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Shida was sort of the one that helped get Britt over. Like, Shida was, you know, a great women's champion and was very clearly the front runner in this division when this division was in its fledgling stages. And then, you know, it's sort of fighting back and forth. She had disappeared for a while. I think she's been on a really great run since she's been back.
I agree.
And I think, you know, she's looking great. You know, she has been really doing great things. No matter anything that's asked of her in this company, she seems to deliver.
Yep.
And then Hayter shows up, when she did a year, two later. And Hayter has been so solid in this company. Yep. Impressive every time she steps out. And, you know, talking about her catching cross bodies and how crisp she does that. And, sort of showing up in the beginning with like a more, I'll say, a muted look with the long straight hair, you know, the more toned down gear.
Sure.
Kind of like what she looked like in Stardom.
It was just like plain black gear. Yeah.
Right. And then sort of getting aligned with Britt and changing her look and getting the makeup and the big hair and all that. And just showing everyone that, like, she is this really, really talented wrestler. And a lot of times I'll say, like, not purposefully, but like a little to the detriment of Britt, who she's aligned with, because I think Britt has improved and Britt has a great look, and Britt is very good at getting over, but like Hayter is such a good wrestler. So this was a matchup that I was like super excited to watch, and they fucking delivered. And like, I think this is to me, 3 years in on this company, this is the statement match for this division. This is what this division can and should be. And if you can't do what these two did, step up your game or watch this division pass you by, because now Athena's going to want to do what they just did.
Yep.
And Tony Storm's going to want to do what they just did. And Statlander gets back. Statlander's going to want to do what they just did. Like, this is now going to be that spark of, here's the clear top match of this division. Let's get better. And sadly, I think the Penelope Fords of the world are going to have to figure out whether or not they can do that. Because,
yeah, I mean, you know, there's certain places for like your Penelope Fords.
There absolutely is. I'm not saying ship them out of the company, but this is the statement match for this division. This is like, has the potential to be like the turning point of like NXT getting Io Shirai and Kairi Sane and Dakota and that sort of grouping of women that, you know, the four horsewomen were there and they're great and obviously they're all amazing, but like that NXT division that was hitting with Io and Bianca and all those people, was really a different caliber of wrestling, and this match has the potential to light that fire for AEW and start moving forward, especially when Saraya's mystery tag team partner shows up in 2-3 weeks.
Oh, baby.
So,
yeah, I mean, you're right. It could really light a fire under this division, and I hope it really does.
I hope it does.
But yeah, Jamie is just killing it. And yeah, not taking anything away from Sheeta, of course, because like you said, ever since she really came back, she upped her game too.
Yeah. And she's just playing a role. Sheeta is not going to get that belt. You know, like she had it. She had a good run with it. You know, she's staying strong, but she don't need that belt. That belt's not going to be hers probably for a while. I think Sheeta is good enough and is in fans' purview enough and in their brains that at any point she can be in that picture and take that belt and nobody would be mad. right? I think everybody loves Sheeta, but she's not
I
getting
agree.
that belt anytime soon. She's there to make people look better. She's a super talented fucking wrestler. And I just, this could be that landmark moment. Not that they haven't had good matches before, because they have, the Britt and Rosa Blood and Guts thing was awesome. They've done a lot of cool women's stuff, but this one just feels different.
I feel like most of the good women's matches though, were gimmicked. Like,
right.
Rosa and Britt, like you said, Blood and Guts. Then they had like the cage match.
Yeah.
Even if you want to talk like Anna Jay and Tay Conti against Penelope and the Bunny in that like random hardcore match.
Yeah, that was a good match. Yeah.
This was like the best, just straight up like wrestling match.
Well, and you said in the beginning this is the best women's match in AEW. This is also one of their best main events on free TV.
I agree with that.
This match, and wrestling is wrestling, and wrestling sometimes unfairly splits the divisions, and sometimes it may be lesser expectations for women's wrestling still, which is unfortunate because look at some of the fucking wrestling that's out there. But like, I think this transcends that. This is just one of the better AEW matches that anybody has ever done. And that's super exciting to me, especially seeing fucking Willow in that company and like, the potential for people to bring in. And, we'll talk about some hires next week. I'm going to have a couple of women, I think, on mine, or at least one that I can think of right now for sure, that like can fit in and have these kind of matches. And I'm excited for the division because I really genuinely love women's wrestling when they're allowed to fucking wrestle. And like, I say like, I love when Eddie Kingston talks, or when whoever talks about the four pillars, and I want to wrestle like that, or I'm gonna do a Tenryu thing, or the love that FTR has and Punk had of Bret Hart stuff, and comparing it to this classic stuff that we all love. Well, when these women wrestlers come out and they're like, well, we want to bring the influence of Bull Nakano and Akira Hakuto and Manami Toyota and Sweet Sugar Ass and Crooked Titty. To now, I'm super excited for that, because I think if you said to a lot of wrestling fans the name Combat Toyota, you'd get a weird look, right? I still don't think that a lot of that women's wrestling of that all Japan women's wrestling era is that well known still. It's known. It's more than it ever has been. YouTube is a great thing for that. Look up some stuff. If you want recommendations, we'll show you one of the best matches I've seen anybody have. Anybody ever. I will put that tag match up again. We've talked about it all the time. Against any match, I will gladly put it up neck to neck against any match you could point me in. But I love that the women's wrestling has gotten to a point in the U.S. and on American TV. And even WWE does a lot of this stuff. Because I think, didn't Rhea just wrestle Akira Tozawa or something?
I think so, yeah, something like that.
Like, I just like the fact that they can be like, all right, we have the screen time and the match positioning and the ear of someone who is letting us say, I want to wrestle like Bull Nakano. I want to bring the intensity and the fire and the passion and the quality wrestling that the great women wrestlers of the past have done and bring it to now. And I think that's awesome. WWE used to do that a lot more. WCW used to do that. The Jumping Bomb Angels were on, American TV. Akira Hakuto, Bull Nakano, they all had really great runs. But after them, it was a long period of underwear.
It's true. I mean, I remember like a Twitter thread a while ago. I think it was MVP was talking, and I think like somebody was like, "Oh, Manami Toyota's the best women's wrestler ever," and he responded, "He's like, best women's wrestler? You mean the best wrestler ever?"
Right.
And it's hard to argue that. I mean, she's one of the best wrestlers ever.
Right. And you have in AEW, you have an Emi Sakura who wrestled for FMW.
Yeah,
like
it's insane.
You have the influences in the right places, and that wasn't always the thing either. A lot of times you didn't have access to women's wrestlers with that sort of pedigree and experience and knowledge, who brushed up to the shoulders of giants in women's wrestling. And it's super interesting and it's great. And I just think of Willow, and I think of the women's wrestlers that we see on the indies, from, Trish Adora and Erica Lee and, Becca, and you just see, and also, the, non-binary, the Maxie and Payne gets sort of pushed into that division. I think, on mainstream TV, I think Max would be pushed into the women's division, but non-binary, just great sort of alternative wrestling that we don't see that much. Your Heidi Howitzer and your Ziggy Haim and Edith Surreal, and you see these wrestlers that are so good and waiting for that breakout. I'm really genuinely excited for women's wrestling, and we loved on this show. This show was, for a good 6 to 8 month period, was just us talking about how great NXT's women's division was.
Yeah, for real.
So to see AEW tease us that they can get to this point, that this is where they're going, that they have the pieces in place finally to start being more consistently on that level, it's got me super pumped. It's not that I don't like what Moxley does. I love what Moxley does. Not that I don't like a lot of these guys wrestling and all that, but there is an untapped potential in women's wrestling on American TV still. Even with all the talent that's out there, I think they could be doing more, because it's still, even any company, it's still 1 or 2 matches a show. It's still, you get one match, you're lucky if you main event a pay-per-view, you get 1 or 2 matches on the pay-per-view and just be happy with it. I want to see women's wrestling explode. I think there's a shit ton of talent out there. And a match like this just gets me so fucking pumped.
I agree, man. I like the ending with Tony Storm coming back, and then Saraya running out. Mm-hmm. I liked it was almost like, okay, here's your 3 against us 3. Right. Almost like, all right, here's our big 3. Let's do this. I was like, that was such a cool ending. It
was really cool. And there's a lot coming. Obviously, everyone's speculating the Sasha Banks thing. If it happens, it happens. It certainly looks like it's going to. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I think they have enough there that Sasha would be a huge boost because of the name value. But I think AEW's women's division could be a lot stronger than people realize. And it'll be interesting to see, because that's a great 3-on-3 matchup. Storm, Saraya, and Shida versus Britt, Hayter, and Rebel. Rebel doesn't work that much, but that's okay. She can still be in the match. There's a lot of potential there, and I'm excited for it, and I hope the audiences keep responding to it. And it is unfortunately tougher for women wrestlers. There's a great response when a match like this happens on TV, and there's a worse response when a bad women's match happens. That's sort of there's a large community that's like, oh, get them out of here, that stunk. Well, guys have shitty matches all the time.
Oh, of course.
So I'm just pumped, man. This kind of good wrestling gets me fucking pumped. And I Shida has been I've been a big fan since the beginning. Man or woman, she's been one of the people in AEW as a whole that I've always been really excited to see. And Hayter is so fascinating to watch. Because I don't even think she's shown us her best yet, which is really remarkable. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. And before we talk about more good wrestling that gets you pumped, you brought up a name before, and officially in this year's At-Odds General Nutri Monarch, our We Need Wrestling's official entrant is Max the Impaler.
Yes, they are.
So good luck, everyone.
Right. I guess Adam is announcing that tonight, right? As we record this, and Ad Odds records their show. So that's our pick. Was Eddie our pick last year?
No, it was Unbreakable Andy.
Oh, it was Unbreakable Andy. Fuck yeah, Unbreakable Andy. I hope if you're out there, I hope you're doing fucking great, man.
We'll talk. Me and Unbreakable Andy are Facebook friends. We'll talk more about that off air.
Oh no. Oh no. That's not great.
Hurts my heart.
Maybe I take that back, Andy. Hope you're not listening. But yeah, Max the Impaler rules. Max should win the whole thing just for breaking bottles on and near Dan Champion, the last LVAC show.
I've never lost my mind more at an LVAC show than when that happened.
It was the coolest. Yeah, Max rules. So good luck. Sorry, everybody, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know anybody cooler at this moment.
Yeah.
So
listen, Boar, we love you.
Love you. Not your year. Not your year,
brother.
Maybe next year.
Listen, Adam has screwed you over every year.
It's true,
and I'm sure he'll continue to screw you over in the tournament. But sorry, man, it's not this year.
Yeah.
Our talk. Because of all the wrestling that we watched this week.
Yes.
So Wrestle Kingdom 17, January 4th. Obviously we wanted to watch this week some Wrestle Kingdom matches because Christmas is this weekend, New Year's, all that hubbub.
Yes.
Not really gonna have time to do anything. So we were looking at like best Wrestle Kingdom matches, and of course you have your Omega Okada, how could you not? And I was looking at the card for Wrestle Kingdom 10, and on Cage Match, again, not because it's right, but because it's easy.
Yes.
The last 3 matches on the card are all rated above a 9.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were like, hey, let's just do that. I said, all right, let's do it, man.
Right. Particularly because at least one of them I hadn't seen before.
Yeah. So the matches that we watched for the Never Openweight Championship, Katsuyori Shibata against Tomohiro Ishii. If you're a fan of either of these two,
mm-hmm.
you know how this starts.
Yes.
Shibata just running out of the corner and jump kicking Ishii in the face.
Yeah, it's a sprint from minute 1. This is 6 years ago. Yeah. I guess it'll be 7 years ago.
Oh, it's close. Yeah, I was gonna say it's basically 7 at this point.
Yeah, basically 7 at this point. This is sort of both of these guys' more iconic matches.
Yeah.
Shibata Okada is a little bigger because they had to take out Shibata's brain.
Oh.
But
that is one of the best matches ever, though.
Yes, it is. But this is a fight just a pure fight, a pure fight that stretches into gnarly beating a little bit. There is I don't know how Shibata's brain wasn't mush after the headbutts he throws in this one. It sounds like hitting a baseball bat off of a tree.
It's so gross, man.
They're disgusting. Him and Ishii are madmen. And it's exactly what you expect from these guys, and it's fucking great. Interesting thing for me about this match is this is Shibata's first New Japan title.
It was, yep.
So I was reading about it because they said that, and I was like, well, how can that be true? And it's like, well, because he was a freelancer for 11 years.
Yeah, because he left.
He left. So he trained in the dojo, did about 4 or 5 years in New Japan, and then left and did Noah and the Inoki shows and a bunch of other stuff. It was a freelancer for 11 or 12 years and sort of came back maybe a year before this, and then is done a year after this.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. But this match is 5 stars all the way. And just a massacre. It's just a beating. It's 2 men who make their careers out of hitting people as hard as they can. And they both sort of meet their match in this match in a way. Like they both sort of like hit each other and then sort of like look at each other and like cock their, like they do like the almost like the Michael Myers head cock, like where he can't figure something out in the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what? You hit people that hard too? And then they just sort of have a contest as to who can hit the other one harder in the preceding or in the succeeding 17 minutes. It's not a terribly long match because it physically cannot
It can't be. No, it cannot be. So then the next match that we watched, this is for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, which I missed this title a lot.
Oh, especially after they announced that blue atrocity today.
Oh, I know. It's so sad.
The King of Pro Wrestling title instead of a trophy. Wrestling trophies are cool. Let somebody have a trophy.
It's like a tiny trophy, too, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah. Now they have a dumb blue belt, but they got rid of the Intercontinental belt. I don't understand.
Yeah. I miss that IC title.
Yeah.
Granted, you have the United States title, but I miss the IC title.
Yes.
So this is Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Yes.
So the funny thing about this match, and I remember like because I watched this Wrestle Kingdom.
I had not seen this match before.
So when I was watching this, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is their last Wrestle Kingdom match, both of them.
And their first match against each other.
Yes, because the next day at New Year's Dash, AJ gets kicked out of the Bullet Club and Omega takes over.
Yeah.
And then Shinsuke, this is his last Wrestle Kingdom, and then he debuts WrestleMania weekend against Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
In NXT.
Crazy.
So it's kind of like wild that all that happened in such like a quick.
Yeah.
Because then AJ, a couple weeks later, he debuts at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. So did AJ didn't go to NXT, right? He was right to main roster.
No, he went right to the. Yeah, he debuted at the Rumble that year.
Yeah.
So I always forget how good AJ's run was in New Japan. Because they fucking butchered this dude in TNA so bad towards the end.
Sure did.
Where he was kind of like damaged goods. And then he goes to New Japan and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to show you how good I am.
I still...
people forgot how good I am.
I still, to this day, sort of think about AJ Styles, and my first thing is like, oh, he was washed years ago.
Right?
But he's not.
He's not, no.
Yeah.
I love this match. I've seen it a bunch. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm more curious your take because this is the first time you ever watched.
First time watching it. I wasn't watching really at this point, not even a ton of wrestling at all. But definitely not any New Japan. It's a true classic. This is two guys who match up incredibly well. This is like a Nakamura who, I'm not going to say winding down, but a Nakamura who is sort of, becoming a little bit of a slicker wrestler because he's getting old and is getting sick of getting hit really hard.
Sure.
This is why he eventually
That's the right
leaves.
way to put it. No, it's the right way to put it.
So he he's always been a super talented wrestler, but like he matches AJ's style. AJ Styles' style in this match. Just like a move for move innovation kind of stuff. There's a lot that I love. I love the little subtle blocks and transitions. There's the point where Nakamura does like the go behind where he drops to the knee and sort of slips behind you. And AJ throws a knee and blocks it. That was really cool. I love the storytelling aspect of the one-armed Styles clash that he hits because he doesn't get all of it, right?
Yeah.
And sort of just the what they have to go through to beat one another. It is a match as good, or if not, I'll say it's as good as their WWE meeting is terrible.
Oh man, I'm still so upset over that.
But like, if you saw them in that WWE match, you'd be like, why would I want to watch this? But this is really, really great. It is an actual classic. The question I have for you, because I don't watch a ton of WWE and I have not watched an AJ Styles match in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Does he still use the calf killer?
I don't think he's used it in a while, and I know that they changed it to the calf crusher.
Okay. Because it's so cool.
Right, dude? It's such a cool move.
And like, it's not like it's not a finisher car, it's not a finisher hold, but it's a great like nuisance weakening hold.
Yeah.
And it looks cool, and it's quick and simple to apply, and would actually
you can put it
hurt.
On anyone.
Right. It would actually hurt if you did it to somebody for real. Like, it's one of those rare submission holds that would actually work. And so that was really cool, and he utilizes that a lot, especially at the beginning of this match. And I was like, I don't know that he still does that. I haven't seen anybody use the calf killer in a really long time. So I was just wondering. But yeah, this is two guys, technically past their primes, but like, don't tell them I said that.
I mean, really, after this, Shinsuke, like, he goes to WWE, he has that Sami Zayn match, which was incredible.
Yeah.
I remember the match against him and Samoa Joe. Like, that's one of the hardest hitting NXT matches, wrestling matches, really.
Yeah.
But he never got that, like, gear.
Yeah. He wins the Rumble.
But he never had, like, that, like, what he was in Japan.
Right. Well, and that's sort of, him leaving was, he really got sick of getting hit in the face real hard.
He was sick of getting dumped on his head.
It's the truth, and it's understandable. And you could go and do a maybe a more travel intense schedule, but for damn sure a less intense wrestling schedule. And
the man just wants to collect the check and surf. Right. I have no problems with that.
And he's having good matches, and he's wrestling some really talented people. But this would be, not that they haven't had good matches, but this is sort of the I don't know if it's purposeful or not, but sort of we're leaving, but we're going to leave you with something you won't forget.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that.
We're not doing a Carl Anderson walk-in brawl here, where we're saying goodbye in the best way that we can, because Japan has been so good to both of them, and they're leaving for greener pastures, and by greener pastures I mean money.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, really, AJ went and he revitalized his career over there.
Absolutely. In a different world, AJ Styles is retired for 10 years already. No,
you're right, man.
So,
and then main event, dude, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Sorry, the young boys that come out at the end of this match.
Okay. I was going to bring that up during the next match. Okay. Go ahead.
Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Dave Finlay.
Yeah, dude. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
And then, like, I know I saw Show and Yo and
they're in the
Master Watto.
Oh, yuck.
That's your boy.
Master Watto that long ago? He's been in wrestling that long, and he's that fucking bad? Ugh.
Yeah, dude. Come on, you can't hate him that much.
Yeah, well,
6 or 9.
He is 6 or 9. He is 6 or 9, but he's not good. I shared a clip today of Taguchi, and Watto comes in for the save, and he looks like dog shit.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
I can't, man. Taguchi's so good, and Watto is just like, bleh.
That's Watto.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be wild when he wins the Junior Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom this year.
He's absolutely going to, because they're trying to force him down our throat. I would rather watch Watto from the Star Wars prequels wrestle than I would Master Watto wrestle.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah, main event, the champ, Kazuchika Okada.
Yes.
The challenger, the winner of the G1 that year, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Tanahashi man.
Dude, this match is like, man, like perfect professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
the crowd is at such like a fever pitch during this
Yes.
that like even if you weren't really super into it, you couldn't help but get into this.
Yeah.
It's just that they're literally just like loud, just making noise. Like it's insane. I love this match. Okada retains the title, which that's kind of like a big thing at Wrestle Kingdom. They don't like it's not like Mania where forever it was just like the title always changed hands.
Right.
Wrestle Kingdom, that's not what it was. Really, January 4th shows you can call it.
Right.
But man, these two are just like at the top of their games here.
And this also ends Tanahashi's 5 Wrestle Kingdom win streak.
Yes,
which
yes,
is a
it
big
does.
deal. Yeah. So this is a war. Tanahashi man, in the shape of his life.
It looks like $1 million bucks,
carved
dude.
out of stone. Like, and like not like marble or granite, but like some sort of alien stone we have yet to actually discover. He is, I was like, I want to talk about top 5 most handsome wrestlers and why all 5 of them are Tanahashi. Like, the hair,
son of a bitch, you broke the rule.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
The hair, like it's peak lion's mane Tanahashi hair. He's got the dark and the light layers. He is just chiseled. He's on that good diet, brother.
Yeah.
And this is Okada, like, early, and he's had the belt for a bit, but like, this is, I think, his second go with the title. Maybe.
Yes, it is.
But this is like the beginning of the wave that I think he's still riding to this day.
Yeah, no, he never got off the wave.
Like this is Okada, like climbing to the top and staying there for the next. I don't know how long because it's not over yet.
No, I don't see it ending anytime soon.
So like that's crazy. It's Okada's first Tokyo Dome win over Tanahashi. Okada kicks out of 2 high fly flows. Tana hits the high fly flow to the outside, which I still think is one of the coolest moves I've ever seen. Live, it's the
so good, man.
Live, it's it's one of the scariest moves I've ever seen, and I was 10 rows back when Samoa Joe dumped Necro Butcher out on the fucking ground from the apron. Just the high fly flow from the corner to the outside, which we saw him do in DC, which is crazy that he still does it, is just a wild wrestling move. And speaking of, we didn't talk about this in AEW. Fucking Hayter and Sheeta did the fucking suplex off the apron. Those assholes.
Oh yes, they did. Your favorite move.
But yeah, this match rules. It is. Again, I don't want to say Tana's peak, but like the Tana we get now isn't this Tana. So if you watch Tanahashi now and you're like, I don't get it, go watch this guy.
Yep.
Like this is the dude. And Okada is still that guy.
Yeah, dude. I loved the end sequence when Okada hit him with like 3 Rainmakers just to like I gotta put this dude down, and that place just is going insane. And man, this is like peak like Wrestle Kingdom stuff, you know?
For sure. So the question I have for you.
Okay.
Is Tanahashi still Okada's greatest rival?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah? You don't think Kenny has stepped in?
No.
Okay.
I think the matches were some of the best wrestling matches you'll ever see, but I also get why people don't like their matches.
Sure.
If you were saying like, I don't like Okada Tanahashi, I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Okay. Right. I agree.
What's going on there?
Yeah, I agree. I think Tana has such a massive part in Okada's stardom, like in his fame and his rise. And I just, and Japan, I think it's the handoff, right? It's Tana is Japan's biggest star up until pretty much this match, right? Like if not this match, shortly before it or shortly after it, Okada is king. He's God. And so it's an interesting handoff of like, and the ace is still there and he's going to be the ace until he hangs it up. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how rickety his knees are. But these two are special.
Absolutely, man.
And, when you talk about the pantheon of greatest Japanese wrestlers, greatest New Japan wrestlers, greatest Japanese wrestlers, and there are a lot of fucking names on those lists. A lot of names. But you don't get to make that list without either of these guys.
Yeah, I would have to, I would probably have to say both of them. If you're just talking, really wrestling all time.
Sure, wrestling all time too. Sure,
are both top 10 guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I would say so.
Yeah, the Mudas and the Chonos and the Kobashis and the Misawas. I just, and the Inoki and, all those names, like, you can't have a list with those guys and not have both of these guys on it. That's how important they are. That's how good they are. That's how good this match is.
Yeah.
It's remarkable that, one single wrestling show had these three matches
insane,
on it.
Dude.
And there's been other pay-per-views all over the world. The WWE, WWF has had some crazy pay-per-views with some legendary matches on it. WCW had some crazy pay-per-views with some legendary matches on it. Some of those WCW pay-per-views that we've watched recently had, Ultimo and Dino Machino having 5-star matches as the fucking openers.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is essentially WrestleMania, and is the last 3 matches are as fucking hot and as good as they are. Like, these to me it's a 5 of 5 and maybe a 6. Like, it's, the dude scale goes a little higher with merit, but it's not like the Meltzer scale where we're just throwing out 7-8 stars willy-nilly here. But this is, because if I'm going to say that Ishii Shibata is 5 stars, then I have to say that AJ Nakamura is 5 stars. But if AJ Nakamura is 5 stars, then Tana Okada has to be more.
Oh, no doubt. It's crazy. Like, these 3 matches right in a row are probably the best, like, wrestling match quality, like, in a row on any pay-per-view ever.
Right. Yeah, I would be very hard pressed, to see, like, usually sometimes people like to put a match in between to sort of let people cool off and take a break and catch their breath. But this Wrestle Kingdom, which is not a short show.
No, not at all.
And has some other good matches early on. The Briscoes are on this show, which is super weird.
Yeah, then Omega and Kushida's on this.
Right. Yeah, for the junior title.
Yeah.
But these 3 matches, this is interesting too, because like, if somebody was to be like, oh, I've never watched the Wrestle Kingdom, or I don't really know Japanese wrestling, or I don't know New Japan wrestling, I'd be like, go watch the last 3 matches on Wrestle Kingdom 10, and that'll give you a good taste of everything they can bring you. And then what you like the best or what you're the most interested in will then open all the doors you need beyond it. Yeah, it's really quite interesting. But yeah, what a crazy show. It should be studied. If I was in college, I would write my dissertation on this show, because it's just insane.
Yeah, dude, I had so much fun going back to watch these. I haven't watched these in a while, so maybe real pumped to watch these again.
Yeah.
With that said, I guess we'll run down the Wrestle Kingdom 17 card coming up now.
Do it.
On January 4th. We'll run it down now because why not?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have like your pre-show stuff, like your New Japan Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
So again, these are not in order, but this is how Wikipedia has them marked. In the Antonio Inoki Memorial 6-man tag team match, Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, and Togi Makabe against Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask.
Yeah, crazy.
Holy old.
Yes.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles, Catch 2-2, which is TJ Perkins and Francesco Akira, going up against Leo, which is Leo Rush and Yo.
Okay.
You have a singles match for the IWGP Women's Championship. The champ, Kairi, going up against Tam Nakano, which the heavy rumor is that this is where Sasha Banks is going to appear.
Okay.
The tag team match, obviously, for the IWGP Tag Team titles. The champs, FTR, going up against Bishamon, which is Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi.
Absolutely.
The tournament final for the inaugural New Japan World Television title, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting one for sure.
You got to put it on Ren.
Yeah, I think so too.
A singles match for the Never Openweight Championship. The champ, Carl Anderson, against Tama Tonga.
Okay, that's going to be... That's up to this point absolutely skippable on this card.
Yeah. 6-man tag, which will be one of the participants' last New Japan match ever. You have Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Bushi, going up against Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shota Umino, and Keiji Muto.
Yes.
Muto's last New Japan match ever. Because he's coming to an end in January. A 4-way match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. The champ, Taiji Ishimori, going up against El Desperado, Hiromu Takahashi, and Master Wato. A singles match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. The champ, Will Ospreay, against Kenny Omega.
Okay. That's going to be a match. I think you're going to like that one a lot more than I do.
I probably will.
But it's going to be interesting because whether he wants to admit it or not, I think there's a lot on the line for Omega in this match.
Yeah, I mean, this is his first New Japan match back since the Wrestle Kingdom where he lost the belt to Tanahashi.
Right,
so.
and let's see.
Yeah, a lot to prove.
Let's see what Kenny has, and I think the I would assume that this is going to be sort of a handshake at the end. Ospreay is anointed as the sort of top gaijin that Kenny held. Kind of, well, I guess Jay White's there, but took Jay White a little harder. They never really passed the torch from Kenny to Jay White. They tried to force us into Jay White until Jay White figured it out. And so I think this might be a little bit more attempting to pass that torch. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And speaking of Jay White, the main event for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
The champ, the Switchblade Jay White, going up against Kazuchika Okada.
Okada doesn't lose at Wrestle Kingdom.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
We'll see. Jay White did tell Eddie Kingston today that he started the trend of fuckboys joining wrestling companies.
Oh boy.
Because Eddie Kingston said a lot of new fuckboys about to join AEW. And then said, a lot of people got nervous and sent me text messages to see if I was talking about them.
I did see that. Yeah, that was awesome.
And then Jay White responded and said, congratulations, you're a real trendsetter or something. And then Eddie responded with a meme that said, all that just for a little clout.
Oh boy.
So they're still going back and forth.
I know they're setting up for a match between those two in New Japan Strong, so
right.
we'll see.
It'd be really interesting if Jay White retained and on New Year's Dash, or what's the one that comes after?
Yeah, New Year's Dash.
New Year's Dash, where everything sort of resets for the new year.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting if maybe Eddie Kingston's music hit when Jay White came out to celebrate his victory over Okada at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
Not even say it happened, but weird shit happens. Because then is Dominion the other one? What's the crazy one?
Dominion's not until the summer.
Oh, okay. I thought there was another one after Wrestle Kingdom other than New Year's Dash, but
there's New Beginning.
Okay.
There's New Year's Dash, then New Beginning is kind of like they're like, kind of setting up everything still that gets established in New Year's Dash. But Dominion is like kind of like their SummerSlam.
Okay. It'd be interesting because they do a lot of talking, and I think that's a good matchup. And to be as active as you are in social media, not to expose anything here, but you have to be having fun working together to do all this shit. So,
oh sure,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. As you said earlier, next week we're gonna kind of have like a year-end show.
Yeah.
We have a couple topics picked out that we're gonna go over.
Yes.
Obviously after the show, if you want to send us your list, that would be sick.
Sure.
If you didn't watch Wrestle Kingdom 10 matches this week and you're like, hey, I want to watch some wrestling, go watch the last 3 of that show.
Yes.
Because, my God, it's just perfection. And then also, tomorrow, well, if you're listening to this by the time this comes out, tonight in beautiful Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, LVAC at Sokol's.
Yes.
Full transparency, we don't know if we'll be there or not.
Yep. Don't know. Weather
permitting, yeah.
Right.
Weather permitting.
It's the ice apocalypse the day after tomorrow's currently happening. So,
oh no, breaking the rules again.
I know. Sorry, I forgot. Bad time. We're here for a bad time.
It's bad times only. But yeah. So if we're there, cool.
Yeah.
If we're not, it'll suck. But it is what it is. Unfortunately.
Did we go over the year-end stuff, what we're going to do for people to send us stuff?
No, we'll just do it next week. And then, if people want to send us stuff.
After that, I get you.
After that,
I get you. All right. Sounds good.
Did you buy anything this week?
Did I buy anything this week? I did not. No.
I did not either. Collapsible segment.
Yeah. No. Well, seizure medicine for my dog.
Oh, well, you just said we want to have a bad time.
A bad time, right? A bad time. A vet bill and an overnight stay for my poor puppy. So
I got my Jeff Jarrett Zombie Sailor figure finally.
Yeah, it arrived before Christmas. All you people mocking poor undead seaman. And he delivered on exactly what he promised. They were in hand within 2 weeks, and they were there before Christmas.
It is great. I'm not gonna lie. It's such a good figure.
Did you pop it open, or you leaving it on card?
Of course, I popped it open. Good. Come on now. I don't do that.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
I would do that with certain things.
Yes.
But yeah, man, other than that, I mean, I guess I don't have anything else. Do you?
Right. No, I'm good, man. I'm
cool.
Yeah, no, I got nothing. I want to keep this as a bad time, so I got nothing.
Bad times only.
Let's get out of here. This sucks. No.
Yeah.
I'll hit the plugs and we can bid our farewells till next week.
We can skedaddle.
Start hunkering down for the flash freeze that's coming. This has been We Need Wrestling. Thank you for listening, everyone. You can find us online at We Need Wrestling on the soon to be collapsible segment of Twitter, Hive, Instagram, WeNeedWrestling.com. We can email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. We are a proud member of the soon-to-be-named network at STBN Network on Twitter, soon-to-be-named-network.com, soon-to-be-named-network.tumblr.com, where you can find a plethora of other shows Longbox Heroes After Dark. They're doing a bunch of year-end wrap-up with their superhero or super rogues gallery tournament. And correction from last week, the van is gone. The van was gone. My mistake for not listening to shows in the correct listening order. At Odds with Wrestling, Final Wrestling Place, Hit My Music, Puzzle Warriors 3, Profane Argument, our other show, Wings on Wings, which has seemingly a rotating panel because of weather and life. But we're going to vow to not miss an episode no matter what it takes. We'll put out an AI episode if we have to.
There you go. I kind of like that idea.
Figure it out. I said Hit My Music. Also, friends of the show, Ron and Sam, started a new podcast called Every 80s Movie. I do not know if it's on anything other than Spotify because I haven't talked to Ron this week, but it's on Spotify. I think they've done 3 movies, including Don't Open Till Christmas, which was on Joe Bob this past week, which was a ton of fun. So check all that out, and wait for the inevitable, soon to come collapse of Pod Van Dam and the rebirth of whatever Ed Cody's going to do on the internet, which I'm sure is going to be appointment listening. And I think
the rebirth of Ed Cody. That sounds like a documentary I want to watch.
The rebirth of Ed Cody. I saw that Diamond Dallas Page is working on a fictionalized theatrical film version of the resurrection of Jake Roberts. So,
that's something.
Yeah, he wants to make it into a movie. So,
sure. I mean, I guess I'd watch it.
I'd probably watch it, but I don't know that I would pay money for it. But that being said, that's it. I got nothing else. Go watch Black Adam for no reason other than to see how cool Dr. Fate was in it. But everything else is just go see how thin-skinned The Rock is. It's pretty funny. So,
dude, I'm sitting here at my work desk,
yeah,
and I have the Tenryu Chara Pro here, and man, they got his saggy titties right.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. It's one of the better.
What a good figure.
It's on my desk too. It's one of the better Chara Pros because not only did they get the boobs, but he's also lumpy. So
yeah,
because he was a lumpy dude. He was a sumo guy who lost some weight to become a wrestler and gained it back and forth, and he always sort of looked like he was made out of mashed potatoes. So even on that, he's lumpy, he's just a mean shit kicker because this figure is old man Tenryu. It's the only one that did, but it's not like Jumbo and Tenryu. This is old man, I'm going to kill you Tenryu. And it's perfect.
Yeah, and I have him right next to my Milana Collection AT, who's just a supermodel.
Right. Even on his back, if you look at Tenryu's back, it's got all the appropriate folds and lumps.
I love it.
Yeah, Tenryu's the fucking man, and this figure is one of the...
What a great figure.
It's one of the better Chara Pros, even in its perfect simplicity.
It's so good.
And silent, and in its silent lucidity.
Dude, I fucking hate Queensryche. Sorry, dude.
Me too.
Prog metal up your ass, I guess.
Me too.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.
You're listening to the soon-to-be named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!